students, myself Bhupinder Kaur, lecturer biology from Government Model Senior Secondary School 3B1 Mohali. Dear students, today we will be starting chapter 12, that is biotechnology and its applications. Dear students, in our previous chapter we have discussed in detail about what is biotechnology, what are its tools and what are the various processes. Now what is biotechnology? Biotechnology is the use of living organisms for various products and processes which are useful to the human beings. Now students, अगर ये कहा जाए कि biotechnology क्या एक new branch है, then it will not be correct. Biotechnology is as old as human civilization. From a very long time we are using these living organisms for the preparation of various products which are useful to us. For example, for making curd or for making alcoholic beverages, we are using these living organisms. Students, in our today's topic, we will be discussing in detail about the various applications of biotechnology in agriculture. Now students, अगर हम अपने conventional methods को देखें of crop improvement like selection or hybridization, here we are using the whole genome of the organism. Whereas in biotechnology or recombinant DNA technology, one or few genes they are added from one organism to another organisms. और genes को add करने के लिए either we are using the vectors which are acting as the carriers of our foreign gene, or we are directly transferring this gene into the host organism by various methods which we have discussed like electroporation, microinjection or biolestic technique. So students, today we will be discussing that how biotechnology that is helpful in improving the process of photosynthesis and in making insect pest resistant varieties of crops.
Dear students, agriculture is a major sector for the production of food materials and hence it helps in the development of a nation also. But nowadays we are facing an acute problem of growing human population accompanied by the shortage of food materials. So the main challenge before us is to increase the food production and to enhance our agricultural sector. Now students, there are three options how we can increase the food production. The first option is agrochemical based agriculture. In agro-based chemical agriculture, we use fertilizers or pesticides along with the high yielding varieties to enhance the food production. The second option is organic agriculture. In organic agriculture, no chemicals they are used. Instead of chemicals, various biomeasures they are used like biofertilizers or biopesticides to minimize the pollution which are created by these chemicals in agrochemical based agriculture. And the third option is genetically engineered crop based agriculture, in which the crops they are genetically modified to enhance the food production and to make them insect pest resistant. Now students, the Green Revolution which took place in our country in the year 1965 to 70, it enhanced the food production and it succeeded in tripling the food supply. But yet this food supply is not enough to feed the growing human population, because we all know that population always increases geometrically. So scientists all over the world, they have started using genetically modified crops as a possible solution to feed this large growing human population. So students, today we are going to study some of the important applications of biotechnology in agriculture. The first example is improvement in photosynthesis. Students, you must have heard the name of the enzyme Ribisco. What is the full form of Ribisco? Ribisco is ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate carboxylase and oxygenase. Now students, this enzyme, it can combine with CO2 or it can combine with oxygen. When Ribisco it combines with CO2, it performs C3 cycle. In C3 cycle, plant fixes carbon dioxide to glucose. And whenever the Ribisco it combines with oxygen, it performs C2 cycle. C2 cycle is also known by the name photorespiration, and it is highly wasteful process in which the plants they start losing their fixed carbon. Approximately 25% of the carbon that is lost in the form of carbon dioxide in C2 cycle. So the combination of this Rubisco with CO2 or oxygen, it depends upon the atmospheric concentration of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Now what the scientists they have done through genetic engineering, with the help of genetic engineering, the scientists they are now possible to isolate the enzyme Rubisco, modify it, and they have reinserted it into the plants. Now students, this Rubisco enzyme, it can act as carboxylase also, and it can act as oxygenase also. When it is acting as carboxylase, it is performing C3 cycle, and when it is acting as oxygenase, it is performing C2 cycle. So with the help of genetic engineering, what the scientists they have done, they have removed its oxygenase properties and they have retained its carboxylase properties. So after retaining the carboxylase properties and removing the oxygenase properties, they have reinserted this enzyme into plants, and in this way they are successful in minimizing the loss of fixed carbon due to the photorespiration. So this is the first example of biotechnology where it is helpful in improving the process of photosynthesis. Now students, we all know that with the help of genetic engineering, various crops they have been made which are insect pest resistant. Now this is the name of a bacteria, Bacillus thuringiensis. Bacillus thuringiensis स्टूडेंट्स एक बैक्टीरिया है जो कि एक टॉक्सिन प्रोटीन फॉर्म कर रहा है, एंड दिस टॉक्सिन प्रोटीन इज अ क्रिस्टल प्रोटीन विच किल्स अ नंबर ऑफ इंसेक्ट्स लाइक लेपिडोप्टेरन्स, in which tobacco budworm and army worm belongs, coleopterans in which beetles belong, and dipterans in which flies and mosquitoes belong. So ये जो particular bacteria है Bacillus thuringiensis, it is producing a toxin protein also known as cryprotein or thurioside, which is killing a number of insects. So Bt toxin gene, what the scientists they have done, scientists they have isolated this Bt toxin gene from this particular bacteria, that is Bacillus thuringiensis, and they have added this Bt toxin gene into several crop plants like cotton. Now students, the gene which is coding this toxin protein, that is known as cryprotein. Students, whenever we write cryprotein, we write in italics, and the first letter of the cry, that is always small. And this cry gene which is forming the cryprotein, that is a toxin protein, and when we write this cryprotein, we write it in Roman letters in which the first letter of the C, that is capital. So cryprotein is a toxin protein which is formed by the cry gene. Now there are number of cry genes. For examples, the proteins encoded by the genes cry1AC and cry2AB, it control bollworms in the cotton plant, and cry1AB, it controls corn borer in case of corn plants. So students, genetic engineering की help से scientist ने इस toxin gene को, the gene which is forming this toxin protein, they have isolated it from bacteria, from this particular bacteria, and they have inserted into several crop plants in order to make these crop plants resistant towards the attack of the insect pest. Now students, जब ये bacteria toxin form करता है, then why this toxin it is not acting on the bacteria? Because this toxin which is formed by the bacteria, that is always formed in inactive form. So inactive form में ही students इस toxin spores को they are sprayed over the crops. So whenever these toxin spores, when they are used biologically to control the insect pest, so they are sprayed over the crops. And these toxins, they are present in inactive form. But whenever they enter into the insect's body, or whenever the insects they feed on these spores, and when this toxin it enters into the insect body, then this toxin it gets activated due to the alkaline pH of the insect guts. So toxin produced तो inactive form में हुआ, but when this toxin it enters into the insect body, it gets activated. Why it gets activated? It gets activated due to the alkaline pH of the insect gut. Now what will happen? There will be small pores in the epithelial lining of the gut. Water will enter inside. There will be swelling of the gut of insects, and in this way the death of the insect will take place. So this toxin is playing a very important role in controlling the pest population, especially insect pest population. So what the scientists they have done with the help of genetic engineering, the scientists they have isolated this particular gene from the Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria, and they have introduced into a number of plants. And for example, students, this gene, it has been transferred into cotton plant, and a new variety of cotton is formed which is known as BT cotton. And this BT cotton, it has been found resistant towards the attack of bollworms. Similarly, students, BT corn, it has been made in order to make it resistant against the corn borers. So we can say that this BT toxin, it has created a new biopesticides. Now there is no need of these chemicals or chemical insecticides which are creating a lot of pollution in our environment. सो स्टूडेंट्स, जेनेटिक इंजीनियरिंग की हेल्प से साइंटिस्ट ने किया क्या है? साइंटिस्ट ने इस बीटी टॉक्सिन जीन को बैक्टीरिया से आइसोलेट किया है, एंड विद द हेल्प ऑफ वेक्टर्स दे हैव इंसर्टेड दिस क्राई जीन इनटू द कॉटन प्लांट्स. Now these cotton plants, they have started making this toxin in its leaves. So whenever insects it feed on the leaves, the toxin it gets entered into the body of the insects, and it's get activated within the alkaline pH of the body, and in this way it is killing the insect pest and controlling the insect pest population. So students, this was all in detail about the BT cotton.
So students, we have discussed in detail that how this toxic crystal protein, it has been isolated from the bacteria Bacillus thuringiensis, and it has been added into a number of plants to make them insect pest resistant. For example, BT cotton and BT corn. But student, this BT toxin, it is not toxic to all the pests. All the pests with due course of time, they become resistant towards this BT toxin. So a new strategy or novel strategy, it has been developed to make the plant pest resistant, and this novel strategy is RNA interference technique. Now what is the RNA interference technique? Students, whenever a pest it attacks a host plant, what happens? It introduces the gene of its growth factors into the host plant. And the gene of growth factors, it expresses itself by forming what? By forming messenger RNA. And if we block the action of this messenger RNA, then we can make the crop pest resistant. So students, today we will be studying an interesting example of RNA interference technique in which we have made a transgenic tobacco plant resistant towards the attack of a nematode Melidogyne incognita.
Students, a nematode Melidogyne incognita infects the roots of tobacco plants, and it causes root knot disease in tobacco, in which the roots of tobacco plant they get severely infected by the nematodes. There is swelling on the surface of the roots due to the attack of the nematodes, and there is great reduction in the yield. And students, it has also been found that BT toxin, which is killing a number of insect pests, they are not effective on the nematode pest. So a new strategy it is adopted to prevent this infestation of nematodes on our crops, which is based on the process of RNA interference. Now what is RNA interference? RNA interference students एक method है in which we will silence a specific messenger RNA due to the formation of a complementary double-stranded RNA molecule which will bind and prevent the translation of messenger RNA. So in this way students, we are blocking the action of the messenger RNA so that this messenger RNA is not able to form the various growth factors which are required for the growth of the nematode and for enhancing the population of the nematode within the crop body. सो स्टूडेंट्स, ये डायग्राम दिखाया गया है. इस डायग्राम में हम देख रहे हैं दैट हाउ द निमेटोड इट अटैक्स द प्लांट्स एंड व्हेनेवर ये अटैक करता है प्लांट्स पे तो देखो रूट्स जो हैं वो किस तरीके से इन्फेस्ट हो गई हैं बाय दीज निमेटोड्स. देयर आर स्वेलिंग इन द रूट्स and these roots they are not able to perform the function of absorption of water and minerals from the soil, so there is a sharp reduction in the yield. स्टूडेंट्स, ये रूट्स दिखाई गई हैं एक ट्रांसजेनिक टोबैको प्लांट की एंड इस ट्रांसजेनिक टोबैको प्लांट जो है वी हैव यूज द मेथड ऑफ आरएनए इंटरफेरेंस टेक्निक और आरएनए इंटरफेरेंस टेक्निक की हेल्प से हमने इस ट्रांसजेनिक टोबैको प्लांट को रेजिस्टेंट बना दिया है टुवर्ड्स द अटैक ऑफ द निमेटोड्स. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, किया क्या गया है, व्हाट दी साइंटिस्ट दे हैव डन. वी ऑल नो कि जब भी एक निमेटोड जो है वो अटैक करता है ऑन दी क्रॉप प्लांट्स देन इट इंसर्ट्स द जीन ऑफ इट्स ग्रोथ फैक्टर्स. और ये जो जीन्स हैं हाउ दे एक्ट, दीज जीन्स दे एक्ट बाय फॉर्मिंग अ स्पेसिफिक मैसेंजर आरएनए एंड दिस मैसेंजर आरएनए विल फॉर्म the various growth factors which are required for the growth of the nematodes. Now what the scientists they have done, the scientists they have isolated the gene which is responsible for the nematode growth and they have introduced this gene within the tobacco plants using agrobacterium vectors. So scientists ने nematode से ये growth factors genes को isolate किया है and with the help of agrobacterium vectors they have added these genes into the host plant. And the introduction of the gene is such that whenever it enters into the host plant, it will produce both sense and antisense RNA in the host cells. And these two RNAs being complementary to each other, they will form what? They will form double-stranded RNA molecule, and this double-stranded RNA molecule, it will start the process of RNA interference. So whenever a nematode it attacks on the host plant, it will insert the genes of its growth factors and these genes they will act by forming the messenger RNA. So whenever this messenger RNA it is formed, the double stranded RNA which we have inserted into the transgenic tobacco being complementary with this messenger RNA, they will bind with this messenger RNA. In this way, this messenger RNA will be blocked in its action, or we will block this messenger RNA in order to perform and to synthesize the various growth factors which are required by the nematodes for its growth and for enhancing its population within the host body. So in this way we are silencing the action of the messenger RNA. Therefore this technique is known by the name RNA interference.
So students, we have discussed in detail that how we have made our crops insect pest resistant by introducing in them foreign genes and by altering their phenotype. The plants in which foreign genes are added, they are known as transgenic plants. Transgenic plants, they are also known by the name genetically modified organisms. Because the transgenic plants, they are modified genetically by adding in them extra genes. Students, genetically modified organisms, they are made in order to enhance their nutritional value or to increase their shelf life. Let us study some interesting examples of GMOs.
So students, what are genetically modified organisms? Genetically modified organisms are the plants, bacteria, fungi, animals whose genes have been altered by manipulation. genetically modified organism, they are also known by the name GMO. Now students, genetic modification, it has made crops more tolerant to abiotic stresses like high temperature, high light intensity, low humidity, etc. Genetic modification, it has reduced the reliance on chemical pesticides because these chemical pesticides, they are severely polluting our environment. Genetic modification, it has helped to reduce the post-harvest losses. Genetic modification, it has increased efficiency of mineral usage by the plants. And genetic modification, it has also enhanced the nutritional value of the food. For example, students, vitamin A enriched rice, it has been made through genetic engineering, and this vitamin A enriched rice, that is known by the name golden rice. So students, golden rice जो है, that is a variety of Oryza sativa which is produced through genetic engineering to biosynthesize beta carotene, which is a precursor of vitamin A. Students, vitamin A जो है, that for its formation it requires a precursor which is known as beta carotene. So transgenic rice, it has been made, and in this transgenic rice a foreign gene which forms beta carotene, that has been inserted. The beta carotene gene, it has been isolated from daffodil plant and it has been inserted into rice in order to make it golden or yellow in color. And why this golden rice that is yellow in color? That is due to the large quantities of beta carotene which is present in it. Students, golden rice में approximately 23 times more beta carotene present है than the original rice, and it is a rich source of vitamin A. Golden rice will surely prevent child blindness. Students, ये देखा जाता है that every year 5 lakh children, they suffer from the child blindness, and this blindness, it can be corrected by using this transgenic variety of rice which is known as golden rice. Now students, with the help of genetic engineering, transgenic Brassica napus plant जो है वो produce किया गया है, and this transgenic Brassica napus plant, it has started forming hirudin in its seeds. Now we all know students that hirudin एक natural anticoagulant है जो कि हमारे blood में present होता है, and it is responsible for the free flowing of blood within our blood capillaries. So what the scientists they have done, the scientists they have synthesized the synthetic hirudin gene, and they have inserted this hirudin gene into the Brassica napus plant. So the hirudin gene, it undergoes transcription, it undergoes translation, and it starts forming the hirudin protein in its seeds. So from the seeds, the hirudin, it is extracted and it is used in the laboratories to preserve the blood samples. So देखो students, hirudin synthetic hirudin जो gene जो है, that has been made by the scientist, and this hirudin gene, it has been inserted into the Brassica napus plant. Now the Brassica napus plant, it has started forming this hirudin in its seeds. From the seeds, the hirudin, it is extracted and it is purified, and now it is used as a preservative in order to preserve the blood samples in the laboratories. Students, एक बहुत interesting example है transgenic plant का, that is the transgenic tomato, which is also known by the name flavor saver. A major problem in agriculture, that is the perishability of the products. Usually students, जो fruits and vegetables हैं, उनकी harvesting तब की जाती है when they are fully ripened. और जब उनकी हार्वेस्टिंग फुली राइपन स्टेट में की जाती है तो बहुत ज़्यादा फ्रूट्स या वेजिटेबल्स जो हैं, दे गेट स्पॉइल्ड ड्यूरिंग इट्स ट्रांसपोर्टेशन. सो कई मेथड्स इनिशिएट किए गए हैं विच आर इंक्रीजिंग द शेल्फ लाइफ ऑफ द क्रॉप्स. And one such successful technique क्या है students, that is delaying the ripening of fruits and vegetables by manipulating the genes through genetic engineering. भी किसी तरीके से हम ये जो ripening है fruits या vegetables की, इसको delay कर दें. Now students, For the ripening of the fruits and vegetables, a particular enzyme is required, and this enzyme that is known by the name polygalacturonase. ये एंजाइम जो है स्टूडेंट्स ये डिसोल्यूशन करवा रहा है पेक्टिन की, और इस तरीके से ये रिस्पॉन्सिबल होता है फॉर द राइपनिंग ऑफ द फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स। तो जेनेटिक इंजीनियरिंग की हेल्प से स्टूडेंट्स किया क्या गया है कि इसका एंटीसेंस जो है वो सिंथेसाइज किया गया है। एंटीसेंस आरएनए ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर gene which is forming this polygalacturonase enzyme, it has been formed in case of transgenic crops. So whenever ये polygalacturonase enzyme या इसकी जीन जो है वो एक्टिव होती है और वो एक्टिव होके मैसेंजर आरएनए फॉर्म करती है, देन दिस एंटीसेंस आरएनए बीइंग कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री टू दिस सेंस messenger RNA will combine with the sense messenger RNA and will block its action. In this way ये particular enzyme जो है वो form नहीं होगी which is responsible for the ripening of the fruits and vegetables. तो बहुत ही एक novel strategy है जिसमें हमने fruits या vegetables की shelf life को कैसे increase किया है by delaying their ripening or by blocking the action of this particular enzyme which is responsible for the ripening of fruits and vegetables. And students, last example है transgenic banana. Transgenic banana, it contains the gene for enterotoxin of E. coli, and these bananas, they are acting as edible vaccines to protect the children from diarrhea. Now students, usually हम देखते हैं कि जो children हैं they are afraid of vaccinations, they are afraid of injections. So what we have done with the help of genetic engineering, we have inserted these vaccines into the fruits, and by eating the fruits the children's they are getting these vaccines also. So these are the examples of some GMOs.
Okay students, this was all about today's topic, that is the application of biotechnology in agriculture. I hope the topic is very well clear to you. So thank you to all.